I'm here in the French quarters of New Orleans with Steph, a seasoned employee at Royal Carriages, the oldest carriage company in the United States since 1905, and is family owned for 3 generations. Now, Steph has agreed to let me interview her about the company, so let's go ahead and begin. I'm just curious about how the company operates. If you guys matching the rider with the horse.
I knew I was in trouble when my boss called me up and said, I have the perfect meal for you. And I said, why, what's wrong with it? And he goes, oh no, he's just big and young.
That's awesome.
I've had this one out here with me a little over a year now.
Yeah. What's the start time and the end time for them?
Day shift, first tour leaves out at 9 a.m. Their last tour leaves out at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Night shift, our first tour leaves out at 4:30. Our last tour leaves out at 10:30.
Okay.
And generally, the late tours will be done by the last people to get out.
So, how soon do you have to prepare them?
It takes about an hour. I usually, in the warm weather, will bathe them every day. So my day starts with waking them up, knocking all the dust off him, getting him tidied up, harnessing up, then hitching up, and driving out here. And I'm not done at the end of the night until he is tucked into bed with his dinner and all my stuff's put away.
Makes sense. So then, how long do the mules run for each day?
They can work a maximum of 7 hours, 6 in the summer. This counts as part of their working. They can work no more than 5 days in a week, never more than 5 in a row. They get 12 weeks of paid vacation every year, Mississippi. They get room, board, housekeeping, medical, dental, and vision benefits, 4 new shoes every 6 to 8 weeks, and retirement plans.
I love a company that's actually willing to take care of their animal.
I worked in the equine industry my whole life, and these guys have got it made compared to how it should be other places.
Some of the pack stations that I've worked at. So since they run about 7 hours roughly a day, do you guys alternate back and forth between them? Do you have more than one mule you get to drive?
If I work more than 5 days in a week, I would take out another mule.
Okay.
So even if he does 6 days, if he gets 3 days off in a row, it doesn't mean he can work 6 days.
That makes sense.
I'm watching you.
What is his name?
Ivan.
Hi, Ivan. Hey, Muley. I'm not gonna approach you anymore, but I know, but yep, he's like, I want it all. I want it. And you work with these mules day in, day out. You have a specific mule that's your mule that you are taking care of every day. So it's very much a personal relationship.
Right. They bond very strongly with people, more so than horses do.
Yes, they do.
So, if somebody else, if it's happened where a coworker tried to take my mule out, he's like, you're not my person. Who are you? Why are you making me do things?
It's kind of like having that one mare that she won't let anybody besides her trusted handler to get in there with that foal.
That's how it goes.
So,
and a lot of them, especially the more experience they get, they're a lot more tolerant of new people and strangers and all of that.
It comes with time.
Yeah, the younger ones, especially, I'm the only one who has driven this one so far. He's a little suspicious. When the time comes that he graduates from boot camp with me, I'll probably go out on a shift and just ride along with his new driver.
Okay. Does Royal Carriages do doubles, or how many abreast do you guys run on occasion? Just even for fun.
Occasionally, we have a party wagon, so occasionally we'll take out a team. We do drive them as a team on the training buggies. We'll get the newest mule out with one of our most experienced mules. So
Okay.
we take them out like that to start them, just so the more experienced mule can show the ropes.
Okay.
Occasionally we do special events.
Now, I guess my biggest question is, how long has Royal Carriages been operating in New Orleans?
1941.
Okay. Are you guys one of the oldest companies?
We are the oldest continuously operating carriage company in America.
That is fantastic.
No family owned.
Really?
Third generation of owners now.
3rd generation of owners. That's insane.
It's going.
So, is it just in New Orleans or other?
Just in New Orleans. We have in the past done rides in Covington on the North Shore.
Okay.
Sometimes, we haven't the last couple of years, but pre-COVID, we would do City Park for Christmas. Go up there.
Probably when you'd pull out the party wagon.
Oh yeah. We have a Cinderella carriage.
Oh, that would be kind of fun,
designated
actually.
wedding buggy. We have a couple of mules who get to go do those events because we know they're the ones who will happily stand still. Occasionally, we're used for television shows, Bachelor or the
Really?
Bachelorette in New Orleans.
That the Bachelorette of New Orleans. That's fun. That's like people were coming up. Maybe not.
We got reservations coming.
Oh, perfect. How long do you guys work your mules for? When's the retirement for them?
Generally, when they're about old enough to buy their own beer.
Okay.
It's like 2021.
Okay, so they work a long time for this company.
Yeah, and then they get adopted out with a lifetime contract.
Oh, cool. So there's like a specific rescue or family or some farm,
We do
ranch
it
that
through
takes it?
We do it through our network.
Okay.
Basically, historically, we have a lot of contacts in the equine industry that'll want these guys.
Makes
some
sense.
Of them do get retrained to ride, so they go on to second careers. It's like a trail mule or something.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that because a lot of the mules that we get from the companies that I've worked for, we'll get them from the auctions, in which it's very rare to find a good mule at the auction. However, we do, sometimes we get those people that just, they're tired, they don't want to put the energy in to sell them, and we get them from carriage companies.
A lot of our guys are Amish bred. He's from upstate New York.
You're a New Yorker.
Couldn't figure out why at first. I said, why did the Amish get rid of him? He's big, he's gorgeous, he's strong.
Right.
You really need a sense of humor to work with this one in particular.
He looks like he has a decent top line too. A little bit of sway
yeah.
going on, but not bad. I mean, he's a good looking mule.
He just turned 9 years old.
So you're still young, buddy. You have a long way to go before retirement.
Look at him be listening to me talk. Like, am I supposed to do something?
He's just chomping at the bit, enjoying
He
it.
plays with it like a pacifier. It's constant movement.
Constant movement. Okay.
As soon as he starts to doze off or something, someone will come up and talk to him, and he's like,
That's it. I'm awake
"They
again.
brought him snacks or something."
Kind of walking up and down the street, and I was like, I'm really impressed by these mules with the busy cars and everything. So,
It's a special animal.
yes. And Mom was even asking, she's like, why a mule instead of a horse? So I was like, well, you can get a horse that's good, but it takes a long time for them to do. And if you have a good mule, they'll usually follow other mules. The old mule on the left and the new one on the right, and they'll guide them. That's exactly it.
These guys, it's actually city ordinance in New Orleans
Okay.
to use mules since 1982 because of their higher heat tolerance.
That makes sense.
So they're legally allowed to work up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 105 heat index, which is in no way a mule's maximum operating temperature.
Yes.
But that is in fact my maximum operating temperature, so
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
Fair enough.
These guys, when it gets hot, they get electrolyte supplements. We'll double check if they're showing any signs of overheating. They go home,
Okay.
try to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever be able to drive a carriage in the city, but man, it seems like a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure. I used to drive in Philadelphia.
Okay.
The first time I got in the driver's seat, just on a ride-along day, my very first day, and I worked in the equine industry,
Yeah.
knew how to drive. But we pulled out onto a busy street, and I thought to myself, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, I can see that. So how long have you personally been working with the company? And do you like it?
7-ish years now.
Okay, so
I
you're...
love it. I was always a horse person, specifically naughty ponies and big dopey draft horses.
Okay.
It's like my jam. And I met draft mules, and it's the perfect combination of those two personality types. This guy, he's a Percheron mule.
That's
They're all Percherons and Belgian mules. Just shakes out. I always end up with Percheron mules, which is fine by me. So not much more spicy than the Belgian ones.
Yeah.
Usually there's
Belgian.
a little red Molly mule up there who could give any of the Percherons a run for their money.
Oh yeah, I mean, Mollies in general are just... they're something
He's
else.
the first John mule that I've actually had a relationship with.
Really?
I've had a couple that I drove, to fix a problem or whatever, but he's the first one that I've had for a long term. I was always Molly mules. Being sassy Molly mules.
That's funny. This last summer I was working up in Washington, and it was funny because
all the females had the John mules and all the males had the smaller mules. So I mean, it worked out great.
That's how it works.
But I also, like most Western people, I like bigger the ass, more sass. I love it. That's why I love a mule better than a horse. Honestly,
sure, yeah.
100%. But sometimes I do wish that mule has a little more horse in.
I like when people are like, mules are stubborn. I'm like, they're not stubborn. They got a strong sense of self-preservation.
Yes.
And they're probably smarter than the person.
Absolutely. We're talking about you, buddy. We are.
Literally, my job is to talk about you behind your back.
Literally behind your back.
I do.
But
Cushy semi-retirement job over here.
get the city life and the equestrian life. Absolutely love it. And you said his name's Ivan, right? Ivan.
Not Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Not So Fast.
Ivan the not so bad. Ivan the beautiful. How about that? Look at you, handsome.
Right to his head. That's how it got to me. What are you doing, big guy?
Saying hi. How often do you get those tours that are like, can I hop on its back?
Oh, yeah. So
How much? I'll pay you $10.
I just tell him, like, if you want to try that, I'm going to have to fish you out of the tree over here. Because he is not broke to ride. And when he was brand new, I saw him pull some maneuvers that makes me think even I wouldn't chance it, I don't think.
Fair enough.
I think relationship.
Hi, buddy.
That's why I don't let people peg you.
A good example.
Look at that.
To professional equestrians, they are predictable. To people that don't know equine animals, they are unpredictable. So always ask permission first. Always be with your guide. He's doing a little dance for you.
Always.
So out of curiosity, where are these mules kept? Do you have like an area inside the city or on the outskirts?
3 different companies out here right now. We all have barns within the city limits.
Okay.
Ours is the closest. It's just in the next neighborhood over, off of Rosemary.
Really?
About 10
Okay.
minute, 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive or so.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all, really. So then do they all have like their own individual stalls?
Yeah.
I assume it's matted down. You have
Matted down,
shavings.
gravel layers for drainage, and then rubber mats, and then shavings on top.
Oh, perfect.
Full-time barn staff and a barn manager lives on premises. So
Oh.
there's always somebody there.
Oh, so it's actually that kind of barn too, where it has a oh, cool. How many acres does it have, if you don't want me asking? No acreage?
Yeah, we don't have any turnout.
So,
We have a small yard, but that's about it.
okay, so is it just like, for like the barn manager kind of lives in the upstairs part
Yeah,
of it?
there's a couple of buildings on the property that hold offices, restrooms.
Okay.
Tack, and the barn manager has an apartment.
Makes sense. Thank you so much. So this here is Royal Carriages. They have been around since 1905. They are the oldest carriage company in New Orleans, and they are always looking for drivers.